From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
You'll see tax reduction, property tax reduction relative to last year of about, my guess is probably 15 to 18%.
How a budget shortfall could now fall to Billings Parks and Rec due to a new state law.
I'm proud of everyone here. It's crazy to look around and see all the faces that you've seen for 4 years, and it just makes my heart feel big. And I'm looking for my parents too.
Caps and gowns by the hundreds, what Billings students are carrying with them off the stage that goes well beyond their diplomas.
We definitely have some hope now, and that's really important because the fire is so devastating.
And restoring the land, how a company is making a difference after a destructive Bighorn County fire. Those stories and much more coming up in the next half hour. Good morning and welcome back to Montana This Morning on this Monday, the 9th day of June. Good to be with you. I'm Don Hudson along with Miller Robson.
Morning, guys.
Bringing some warm weather.
Yeah, another day where it's going to be very, very warm. Some of us trying to hit 90 maybe today and tomorrow. Now, there's one thing that may keep those temperatures down. We're going to see a lot of sunshine today, no doubt. But look at the haziness out there. The wildfire smoke coming in from Canada is going to be problematic today for our area. So it may keep those temperatures down just a few degrees, maybe not, but still whatever. It's going to be a hot day today. Now yesterday, pretty seasonal with our highs and the lows. High of 76, low of 54. It was windy yesterday, had a top gust near 40 at the airport. Not as windy over the next couple of days. Now, having said that, Tuesday night or Tuesday afternoon into the evening and then Wednesday afternoon to the evening, we could see some really strong thunderstorms come through. So that's where those winds may pick up. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But in terms of the moisture totals, haven't said this for a little while. We're actually in the hole now for the month, but we're doing okay for the year with more moisture heading our way as we get into the middle of the week. Across the area right now, we've got temperatures in the 40s and 50s. We're at 50 right now here in Billings. Not a bad start out there with our temperatures. But again, the haziness today, that's just going to be problematic. So it may keep those temperatures down just a bit. Look at that day planner though. A lot of sunshine today. High getting up to about 89. We may beat that. Then again, we may come a few degrees shy because of the haziness. We'll tell you more about the wildfire smoke and that threat of severe weather coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Miller, thank you very much.
You got it, buddy.
All right, we're going to get you caught up on Montana news in a moment, but first things first, tensions continuing to overflow out in Los Angeles, clashes between protesters and law enforcement over illegal immigration crackdowns. This is smoke bombs and flashbangs are being thrown around and cars are set on fire, traffic forced to come to a stop on some of the freeways. Now hundreds of National Guard troops on the ground and hundreds more expected. Scripps News reporter Adam Rakusin is in Los Angeles and has more.
I'm Adam Rakusin in downtown Los Angeles, where immigration protesters have taken over multiple streets throughout the downtown area. Cars have been set on fire. Protesters have signs holding up with messages to President Donald Trump. They've also shut down different lanes of the freeway. Signs held high. Messages directed at recent immigration and customs enforcement actions across Los Angeles County.
You guys are taking people from their homes. Like ICE is taking people from their homes, from workplaces. These are regular, normal people. They're doing their things. They're not criminals.
The people, the power, will only have the power.
The chants aimed at federal authorities.
Even if they've been here illegally, doesn't mean they're criminals.
And Los Angeles Police Department officers standing toe-to-toe with the crowd. The officers lining the street with shields, guns, and riot gear.
Shame on you! Shame on you!
As the hours went on, what started peaceful turned to a chaotic scene of officers firing rubber bullets and loud rounds meant to shock and push people back. Protesters moved from city and federal buildings where walls and windows were damaged and pushed toward the freeway, shutting down lanes and lighting cars on fire. We're on a bridge that's directly over the 101 freeway. Police Department, LAPD, has shut down one of the directions of the 101. Protesters have filled this area. They're almost on every single bridge that crosses over the 101 freeway. Behind me, this direction, multiple cars are on fire. This is just one of the exits to that freeway. On the other direction, Los Angeles City Hall. Police Department is continuing to fire off rounds into the ground, making those loud noises that you hear, trying to push protesters back. As helicopters circled, Los Angeles Police Department officers stood still, blocking off all major arteries into the city. While many people peacefully protested, others took a different stance, throwing plastic and glass bottles at officers. Some destroyed property and were quickly arrested. We watched as officers fired rounds into the crowd. The sound at times almost deafening. As black smoke filled the air, flags of different countries waved through the streets. What was noticeable, a clear frustration with the federal government. What was unknown, whether the protests will trigger change or incite further government escalation. Adam Rakusin, Scripps News Group.
Now, back in Billings, police here say that they're investigating after a man was stabbed near downtown. Officers say it happened about 7:30 last night. Billings Police Department actually responding to the area of 6th Avenue North, North 26th Street. In case you're trying to figure out where that is, that's near that Albertsons across the road from the Billings Clinic. Officers found a 40-year-old man with a stab wound to his abdomen. A man was taken to the local hospital, serious injuries. Police say that they were able to determine the assault actually happened at North Park. We're able to find a 41-year-old man, identifying him as a person of interest in the attack. They say that there is no threat to the public and that the investigation is ongoing. Now, last week, the City Council finished going over the proposed budget. While it is now set for a final budget adoption, new state laws led to some uncertainty along the way. Now, the city's proposed budget will have $2.3 million less than first projected. That's a shortfall that city leaders say could impact Billings Parks and Recreation by about $500,000. The city finance director is Andy Zoller, he says that the city originally anticipated a 4% increase before a new law which pointed to the possibility of 0% new tax revenue next year. Zoller says the legislature's intent was to lower property taxes for Montana homeowners. That would mean city leaders would collect the same amount of property tax revenue this year as they did last year, while the state will not help make up the difference. Zoller says they would cooperate in another way, though.
If a local government is sued for following the new state law and it's found to have been unlawful, the state would come and backfill that lost tax revenue for 4 years.
Montana Representative and House Appropriations Chair is Lou Jones. He says the legislature requires cities with charters that do not allow an increase in mills to actually do that in order to meet the same amount of property tax revenue. The FBI has announced a reward as the investigation of a missing 13-year-old Crow Agency girl sees a renewed push for justice. It's a story we first brought you last week and remind you this morning of, according to the family of Swade Birding Ground, as they continue to look for answers. Now, the FBI's offer of $5,000 for more information leading to Birding Hound's disappearance. The Crow Tribe's executive branch, by the way, matching that. So really, it's now $10,000, that reward. Birding Ground vanished 8 months ago on October 6, 2024 from her grandparents' home in Gary Owen. Now, her father says this renewed effort to reopen the search is a step forward. The FBI now has a tip line actually dedicated to Swade's case. That number, which is on the bottom of your screen right now, 801-579-6195. A sad and devastating case of vandalism at the Red Lodge Cemetery. A headstone has been destroyed, and it's not the first time. Our Matt Carmack shares how those who take care of the grounds won't stop until the person who did this is held responsible.
There's no doubt that Red Lodge has a beautiful, well taken care of cemetery.
People in Red Lodge cherish this spot.
From the mausoleum to the carved tombstones to the florals, it's understandable why Jim Hilderman loves this place.
People take care of this cemetery.
It's why Jim was shocked to see this image in the back corner of his beloved cemetery.
The tombstone is in a very precarious place because it's on a corner. But it's off the road to where you would have to be trying to hit it like that.
Jim is a part of the District 8 Cemetery Board. He says every morning and every night his crew patrol the cemetery for any suspicious activity.
We just don't have any real clues as to what could have happened.
MTN confirmed with the Carbon County Sheriff's Office on Saturday that the crime was reported on Thursday. Now, the deputy we spoke to said that the vandalism likely occurred either Wednesday night or early Thursday morning.
We're going to find who did this.
But it's even more shocking to find out this has happened not once, not twice, but 3 times to the same tombstone.
I know the folks. I've been here my whole life, and I know the folks well.
Out of respect for the family, Jim asked not to show the family's name on camera. But because this has happened to the same tombstone, Jim believes the vandalism is purposeful and targeted.
It's just appalling that that happened. It's just, I just can't believe it happened like that 3 times.
And until then, Jim and his crew aren't stopping until they've found the perpetrator.
We will find who that is. I am dedicated to this cemetery as most Red Lodge people are. This is sacred ground for us.
In Red Lodge, Matt Carmack, MTN News.
Well, the tassels are on the other side of the cap this morning. Over the weekend, nearly 1,300 high school seniors from 4 schools walked across the stage at First Interstate Arena to accept their diplomas. The grand total, 1,248 students to be exact, all from Billings Senior High School, Billings West High School, also Billings Skyview High School, and they were joined by 6 students from Billings Opportunity School, one of the district's first 3 charter schools.
Well, it was really scary because I'm first generation. I had to be brave and believe in myself and be like, okay, I belong here. I can fill out this application and I'm a worthy candidate.
Coming up in our next half hour, our Marcus Kakova finds a student among the caps and gowns with one of the unique stories that led her to her diploma. We'll learn more on what she hopes to inspire in future students as they prepare for their own graduations down the road. And when fire burns ranch land, it takes years to mitigate the damage and may be actually impossible to do so without some type of help. Mass reforestation has been helping a Bighorn County landowner restore the land from a wildfire that happened 4 years ago. New on Montana this morning, our David J. has more on a biomass burial project in today's Montana Ag Report.
We raised cattle. They rested underneath what trees we used to have. Land has been in our family for over 80 years. It was my grandfather's. My family worked this ranch. My dad farmed and ranched here.
Rebecca Gentry's family lost numerous ponderosa pine trees during the Poverty Flats fire that burned 75,000 acres in Bighorn County in July of 2021.
The amount of burn that we had on this property was over 80%.
Fire devastated this land several years ago. Now they're rehabilitating it, burying all the logs and other biomass here. Eventually, grass will start growing. It'll be replenished and all set for cattle.
Cattle will still be able to graze on top of the facility, and elk and so on. And we're going to store that carbon and biomass so that it just remains in that state.
Bill Layton is Director of Operations for Mast Reforestation and says the plan for the Mast Wood Preserve project is to bury the dead trees in what is called a vault for 100 years.
It's going to be in a sealed chamber. So by the time we get the wood loaded in there, we'll build a cap on top of it. The cap will be compacted and it'll have another layer on top of that that will be restored to its original sort of grassland conditions.
It will be all grass on top of the vault, and trees will be planted on other parts of the Gentry's land.
It allows us to restore the ecosystem using the funds from the carbon market as we bury that biomass.
Lisa Gonzalez Kramer is the Vice President of Forest Carbon Programs for Mass Reforestation and says the sale of carbon credits will help pay for the project. This is the first biomass burial project for her company.
It's so integral to agriculture. Cattle grazing, working forests, all of those aspects of the landscape, hunting leases will be supported by this project.
Removing the dead trees also makes the land safer for the ranchers who lease the Gentry's property for their cattle.
We have a strong farming tradition here. Everyone in this area is a farmer and a steward of the land.
In Bighorn County, David J., MTN News.